Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Side Quests podcast. You are here with your host, Ben.
And your other host, Ollie.
And as I said, this is episode 12. We are kind of back after our Christmas break. We took a break for a week last week, which we hadn't really intended, but just timings just didn't quite pan out. We couldn't get together and record, and when we were able to, we both had childcare commitments and basically screaming children that wouldn't go to bed. Essentially, I think that was for the reason for both of us, wasn't it?
That was pretty much it, yeah. So this is third attempt, and we both made it together. So yeah, we skipped the in between Christmas and New Year, but that's always kind of a family time anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we're back. We're back with a vengeance.
Yeah. So we even
reignited.
we were like, we even tried to record last night as well, and then it got to the point where we were literally about to press the button to record, and then we got kind of sidetracked, and you had to disappear to look after a small crying baby.
Yep. So but we're there now. Which happens.
So we're there now. We're actually recording.
Anything that happens on this monitor is not my problem anymore.
Exactly. As soon as that record button is clicked, we're both kind of off the hook. So yeah, this is.
No, you do it. Wait, Smeagol is free. No, you.
So yeah, as I say, this is episode 12, and this is the first one of the new year. Oh, this is something I've been meaning to ask you. Do we count this as season 2 now?
Season 2.
So are we going to call this season 2 to like denote that this is like a brand new year, a brand new chapter? We should bring out new segments or something, really, shouldn't we?
We should,
yeah. We'll have a think about that one. We'll have a think about that. But yeah, we'll talk about that outside of this. So yeah, in this episode, what are we going to talk about, Ollie?
We are going to talk about the good and the bad of 2024, our New Year's resolutions, and what we're looking forward to in 2025. A classic New Year's episode.
Absolutely. So yeah, we normally kind of kick off with what we've been up to over the last couple of weeks. Ollie? I know it's been Christmas and things. Obviously, we've been festived out, shall we say? I think we're both kind of ready to get back on with life now and things. But have you had a nice time over Christmas?
Yeah, so I think our last episode was like the 22nd of December. So
yeah,
I recorded a few days. So it's been a good few weeks. So really, for me, Christmas was busy at the shop. We were open Christmas Eve. And I think the Monday the 23rd in Ireland, which we're not normally open on Monday or Tuesday, Christmas was a Wednesday, but Monday is the busiest shopping day, the 23rd in the country, I think. I'm assuming it feels like, myself included, lots of people running around trying to buy presents last minute, right? So that was good. But yeah, we had a good weekend in the shop and lots of Warhammer, and all Space Marines have all sold out, basically. So, if Games Workshop want to just keep releasing more Space Marines, I'd like another Space Marine Lieutenant. I think we need one. Oddly, they all sold. So yeah, that's been pretty good. And then
you had a great time in terms of sales and everything. The shop was really, really popular. Well, popular, successful, however you want to word it.
Busy. Busy. We don't normally need like 2 on all the time, but we had a lot of orders and we needed 2 people on. Then there was a day where like I couldn't get to the post for a couple of days. So after about 4 days, I had to take like 60 or 70 boxes in the car or something.
Wow.
Out to the depot. It's like 2 trips, and it was a bit grueling, but good. So we did that, and then we had New Year. Have I done any hobby? No, nothing. I had the Empire box. Remember that Empire box I was going to do like a month ago?
Yes. Yeah.
It's as done as your Chaos one. So
yeah, that's true. But at least I did say that's probably like a retirement project, not something that I'm going to do like anytime soon.
yeah. Other than that, my Christmas present to myself arrived slightly late from Games Workshop, but I got
what was it?
I got the resin Vulcan Primarch.
Nice!
So I bought that myself as a gift.
Oh, he's a bit of a big boy as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I kind of like the old ones.
Is he like the strongest Primarch? In terms of brute physical strength?
Probably, or Ferrus Manus. I mean, Ferrus Manus has like metal hands that
true.
shift around, and he snaps mega swords with them. So probably one of the 2 of them. I think Vulcan, he's a pretty tough lad. I like the older models like him, Ferrus Manus, Angon. I feel like not old, but like the original maybe. A lot of movement in them or something, right? They're all like a lot of activity.
I really like the sword. I really like the Fulgrim because he's like stabbing downwards, isn't he? He's cool.
Yeah, and they actually the 2 of them, I've got the base. The 2 of them pair up. You can buy the base for him.
Vulcan and Fulgrim.
No, for Ferrus and Fulgrim. You can match them up. There's like a resin diorama base. You stick them on. So.
Oh, do they match up? Do they?
The same with Russ and Magnus. They have the same. They have like a matching base, and like Abaddon and Loken. They have one as well.
Yeah, I've
Um,
seen that one. Yeah,
yeah, so they've
I
not a lot,
didn't know that. I
not
didn't
many
know
more
that they
have
kind
them,
of
but only those ones. Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that. Wow,
So yeah,
interesting.
I love those old ones. Lots of movement. So yeah, basically just been working. Really, I had one full day off.
Yeah,
Where I was forced to not allowed to go to work.
yeah,
So I had to make up for that the last couple of days in a good way. So yeah, I'm
yeah.
eager. I'm excited to get back now. I always feel like I get itchy feet and I get scratchy. I want to get back to things. So that's
Mhm.
me. What about you, man? How's things been going your end?
It's been good. Like I had a bit of time off over Christmas, which I think I said previously. I don't normally get any time off over Christmas because I've previously worked retail, so it has been really really nice. Over the last couple of days, I have been back in work, but yeah, it's been good. I know we're kind of talking about resolution stuff, which I'll kind of come on to it. But for the last couple of days, I have been doing quite a bit more hobby than I'd normally do. I've kind of committed to. I'll talk about that a bit later on, but yeah, I've done a bit more hobby over the last couple of days, which has been nice. I have built and based and primed a load of Moria goblins, which are going to be sent off soon to somebody to be painted for me. And I'm doing the same with a load of Moran and Orcs. And the reason why I don't know, is it the same with you? Like, you almost feel a bit guilty about getting somebody else to paint some of your stuff?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, man. I feel guilty painting anything not on camera for a start. So I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
guilty painting it for myself. And then I always feel like every army I should have painted myself, right? The problem with
Mhm.
that is I have no painted armies. So really, there's models like those. Like I'd like to have a load of orcs and goblins, but I don't want to paint them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you know what I mean? Like like commission
I
painting.
have
It's all a service, man. And like we've only got so much time, right? All
I
of
have
us.
zero inclination to paint like what we've got 30, 40 odd Moran and Orcs here. Like they just I want to paint the cool stuff. Do you know what I mean? I want to paint the heroes. I want to paint the elite troops and things like that, rather than spending, I don't know how long it take. But the thing is, patch painting like on that sort of scale for me just really destroys any like creativity or anything.
Oh God,
I
yeah.
just don't get any enjoyment out of it really.
They're not
Um,
even nice models either. Really.
they're
Just
older
old.
models and things, especially like the goblins. I've painted a load already, like the Moran and Orcs. I think I've painted 12 already, and they didn't really inspire me. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to get them sent off to a couple of people that I know, and I'm going to pay them to paint them for
Yeah,
me. Because the thing is, like, now I will actually get use out of these models, whereas before I probably wouldn't. They would have been sat in a box, and I'm not going to get use out of those armies just because simply they're unpainted. Because I don't like playing with stuff. I've said this a couple of times before. I don't like playing with unpainted stuff.
no.
But what I've asked them to do as well is like leave the basing and stuff like that, because then I can get it to match my army, and then I can, they can, all the other troops and stuff that I've done. I've got like a load of Mordor trolls here and things. I've got, say like Gothmog and things that I've painted, which, so they'll kind of all match those guys once they're done.
I think that's good
So yeah,
because like you, I've got a ton of boxes of unpainted models. There's only so many armies that I'm actually like, I'm not passionate about, whatever the word is. Like I love that I care for, right? And
yes,
I want to play with nice characters and stuff. But like I've got a Khorne demon army, right? I did half of it, never finished the rest. Like I don't really like Khorne models that much, but I wanted to use them because they're usable in most systems.
Yes,
so that way I've got an army that I can just get them. I can just at least play like a game with someone or something. And I go, there you go. And it's only I'd like to paint the Bloodthirster. Don't really want to paint 40 boring blood letters or whatever. So much like yourself, I'd rather just get someone else to do them. Any arms I don't really care about, but I kind of like. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like I should probably just get rid of them, really. But then I only really have to have one army for every system that I like. But then that's a lot of models still, and I'll never get around to painting them all. You'll just never finish. So get them done, man. Get them out. Get them out.
Exactly. So yeah, so I have been doing hobby to get stuff painted. I've been building and assembling and things, basing and getting them kind of ready to be sent off, which I'll probably do over the weekend now. So yeah, I'm excited to get those done. And as I said, I'll talk about my resolution in a little while, kind of when we kind of come to that, really. But yeah, so I've got a little bit of hobby done, which has been really nice, been kind of really refreshing. I feel like I've not neglected it over the last year, but I think we keep saying we're going to do the YouTube episode, but YouTube is kind of part of the reason that I don't hobby, and it kind of is like, it feels like it kind of holds you back a little bit. As you say, you feel like if you're painting something, you should be doing it on camera for a reason, and yeah, I just feel like I need to kind of find the joy in it again a little bit, really. In painting for me, and painting to get stuff painted for playing games and stuff.
Yeah,
really.
you seem to have done actually. The last couple of days you've been out in your shed, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's good. I've been enjoying it. So yeah, I think that's that. Is there anything else that's happened over the last couple of weeks that you can?
Well,
that we
we've got a sponsor for this episode. It's Broadsword Wargaming.
Is it? No way! Again,
Broadsword Wargaming for the 12th episode in a row are sponsoring this video.
Crazy.
Today.
Crazy.
So you can just go check out the website broadswordwargaming.com if you're in Ireland or the EU and fancy buying Warhammer models at a discount price, as well as everything else you can need: paint, hobby supplies, Wargames Atlantic, Army Painter, Vallejo, whatever other products you want. They've probably got them. So yeah, I'd probably head on to them in the link down below.
And I hear that they've got really reasonable shipping to places like Germany.
Yeah, I think they can do it for about €6 to €8, depending on sort of size and weight of packages.
That's
€8,
crazy.
I think, is pretty standard. Almost the same price as shipping to us. No import fees if you're in the EU, remember. So yeah, pretty handy shop to go to.
My
I'd
God,
go
that's
there.
Crazy. Yeah, it sounds like an absolutely amazing shop, and we are not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, are we?
No, don't think so. No, you're not.
No, I'm certainly not. But yeah, obviously, please go and support Ollie and his shop. We also have a Patreon as well, which we don't really kind of talk about a lot, do we?
Not really, no. But you should probably go on there as well. Look, this is the reason why we need Patreons and stuff. Check this out. There you go. If you can't see, my headphones are actually falling apart. One, it's got this useless dongle on it, and two, that muff bit comes out. So look at that.
Yeah. So...
and you've got no light bulb in the back anymore.
I've got my light bulb's gone. So yeah, normally there's like a bit of an orange glow behind me, but yeah, that's gone. The studios are just falling apart here.
Literally falling apart.
So literally falling apart.
I've lost the fluff a bit to this mic, and if I knock at the cable, it jiggles, it cuts out. So
yes, please don't do that. You touched it then, and I was like,
it's gonna go.
It better not cut out now.
Yes, we do have a Patreon as well. Obviously, if you guys are listening anywhere on whichever platform you listen on, do make sure to drop a follow or a like or subscribe. Make sure to leave reviews around the place for us. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We do keep meaning to be more active on these things, and I think as it gets more activity, we'll be more active. But I suppose we should be more active to get more.
Yeah, we should be more active to gain that more activity, really, shouldn't we? But
yes, that's the boring bit out of the way, because you guys have heard that 11 other times, hopefully, by this point. Yeah. If you haven't, go check out our previous videos as well, where you've seen us learn and progress from episode 1 to now.
I think we're better at this now. I think at the beginning we were a bit like, whereas now we just kind of talk a little bit more freely and dare I say it, bullshit a little bit more.
For sure. I think it's like the Star Wars movies, man. The lower numbers are worse, the higher numbers are better. Is that right? No, that's totally wrong. We just want to get to Rogue One. That's all we want.
Yeah. Get to Rogue One. Yeah. So cool, right? We have done all our sponsors. I don't think we've got any other sponsors to talk about. So shall we dive into 2024 then? So should we talk about the highlights first? What was good in 2024 for you?
Oh, so we had a lot of. We're talking hobby-wise, right? So, I mean, personally, obviously, I had a baby, but I don't know if that's good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Future Anders, if you're watching this, he does love you.
Yeah, I do love you, little baby, if YouTube still exists. What have we got? So we had good releases this year. We had quite a lot, actually. I was trying to think of them. I should have Googled it really, but I think I can think off the top of my head. What releases have we had this year? We've had a new edition of Age of Sigmar, 4th edition.
Yeah. How do you think that's been received this year?
Very well. In my shop, I think 4th edition Age of Sigmar has overtaken 40k in the store. Crazy. I think it is now. It was previously I couldn't even get like 6 people together for an event. Now I do spearhead events. We have people running a Path to Glory campaign. We haven't got many playing full 2,000 point games yet, but I've got a lot of Path to Glory and spearhead events.
What's Path to Glory?
Path to Glory is where a bit like they did one in 40k. It's a Lord of Things. What's the one we get like a hero and you get to like level up your squads and stuff?
Battle companies.
It's like that, and actually we have a battle companies in store too. But you get like a hero and units and stuff, and your leader can't be a named one, and you get like these glory points which give you upgrades and stuff like that. And it's really, really good. So that's been really popular, and spearhead. So Age of Sigmar has absolutely kicked off. I think people were just a bit fed up of 40k for a while. So it's like a new direction. A lot of players moved into that. The spearhead rule set has been really, really good as well.
Yeah.
So a great introduction set.
I was going to say, I think from what I've seeing online, obviously from having conversation with you, Spearhead seems to have just been mega. You know, it's a bit like Combat Patrol, I suppose. You know, it's an affordable way to get into Age of Sigmar, and obviously if you've got those people that have played, 40k previously, you know, they kind of get that, you know, an army is not going to be necessarily cheap, but you know,
No.
Spearhead is like, how much is a Spearhead box? About 100 quid, something like that.
Yeah, about a
120
little bit
quid,
less
something
for you.
like that.
100 and something euros from us. 100,
Yeah.
maybe 80 quid, 90 quid for you guys.
Yeah, so you know, it's a relatively affordable way of getting into it, rather than, you know, thinking that you need to have that kind of 2,000 point army, which I suppose is kind of where people kind of shrug at,
Yeah,
you know, or grimace at starting a new game. Is that thought of, oh my god, I've got to collect, you know, however many points, and you know, I think how many points were in the so we had Scaventide, obviously, didn't we? How many points were in that? And obviously that's got two spearheads in it, isn't it?
It does, yeah. You've got the Stormcast Spearhead and the Skaven Spearhead plus more. So you've got like Scaventide. Actually, it was a great box. It was a slow seller, but it's almost gone now. We've almost cleared Scaventide, which is good. It was pretty grim for a while, but they've just been picking up as they start to get less available, I suppose.
Yeah.
They become more valuable.
So you still have some available?
I do still have. I think I have only 4 copies left now of Scaventide.
Okay. So if anybody wants a copy of Scaventide, then they know where to go.
Head over to broadswordwargame.com. Yeah, no, it's a really good box set. I've taken 2, to be honest. You get the rule book, which is like what, 50 quid, 50 euros. You have the Fire and Jade, which is the Spearhead play set, which is about 50 euros. You get the General's Handbook, which is like 40 euros. 2 Spearheads, 100 and something each, and then more again. Then plus the game board, you get like all the other bits and bobs. Really, really good set. You know, I think it's 180 euros or something. So that is just a mega saving. And I think people are starting to play it more and pick it up now. So that's been a really good release, really popular for the shop. And personally, I really like the models. I've got a few around here. I did the Skaven and Kira did the Stormcast in a video. I took a second box for this Stormcast because I wanted the Stormcast to go with my old Stormcast. I love Stormcast. That's like one of my army projects, which I mean that I want to do. So yeah, that's been really good. Well, so we've had Underworlds, we had Kill Team, we had a few more old world releases. It's been mental this year. So some great releases.
Middle-earth got a surprise new edition, which kind of I don't think anybody was really expecting. I don't think even Games Workshop were expecting it, if I'm completely honest.
I guess maybe they saw the series. Like, oh god, maybe they had contractually had to do something.
I think they're contractually, like, you know, it's been discussed, you know, on various channels, and you know, and I guess we can speculate a little bit. I don't think we'll ever know the true story. Like, we didn't really have a Middle-earth release for like almost 2 years, I think it was, and I'm guessing that some of it was because of negotiations between Games Workshop and whoever the studio is that have done that. You know, there will have been big conversations that were being had, and perhaps in that time they weren't allowed to release anything, or, you know, everything had to be vetted and changed and things. Because the what was it, Battle of Asciliath box only came out just over 2 years ago, and you know, it's kind of crazy. And that wasn't necessarily a new edition, that was kind of a 0.5 edition. It was just the rule book was essentially the same rule book, but with you know, a few extra changes and things, like, you know, all FAQs and things. So the rules essentially stayed exactly the same. It was just all the FAQs that had been added into one place. So it was probably the most, I'd say, complete rule book that has ever been available. Do you know what I mean? It was you know, it was the one that had the fewest FAQs and that needed the fewest bits of paper to go along with it to correct some of the wording or clarify things, which was really nice. And then so it kind of came as a bit of a surprise, I guess, that we were getting, you know, I think people suspected we might get a few models and things, but I don't think we were expecting a new starter box and a new edition to go with it. So yeah, I think it's been quite a welcome addition as well. I love the new rules. You know, in terms of the core rules, I think they've absolutely nailed it. They've made a load of sensible decisions and sensible changes and things. A lot of people don't like the restrictions on army lists now. Previously, you could kind of, you know, as an allies matrix and things, so you could essentially mix pretty much whatever you wanted together. It does kind of remove some of that, but for me, it's always been like a thematic game. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want a thematic army, and I think some people kind of hid. They said, "Oh, you know, I'm creating this specific army from this specific time," but it was almost to validate the fact that they were really making cheesy lists and putting heroes in that, you know, all that hero's there to represent this hero that was there at the time, and it's like, well, I kind of get what you're saying, but it still feels really, really cheesy. So I
Yeah.
suppose they've kind of done that just to stop some of that. But yeah, a lot of people don't like it, and they feel like the lists are now too restrictive. But yeah, I've kind of gone off
Is
on
that the
a bit of
general though? That's all right? Is that the general people, the view, or is that just sort of the minority maybe?
I think it's the minority because you know Harry Parkhill, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
He
put
did Lord of the Rings Battle report on my channel about 5 years ago.
he did, yeah. So he put a poll up on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group, and it was, I can't remember what will you be playing the new edition? Like, no, I'm going to stick with the old one. Yes, I'll be playing the new one. Or like, no, I'm just quitting, or something like that. And it was something like 91% of people said that they would be playing the new one. So there's a lot of whinging and a lot of complaining and things, but actually the vast majority of people, and it got to the point like, I don't like censoring people. I like to kind of get other people's views, but it got so repetitive when you see the same people in across 3 or 4 different groups on Facebook just repeating and spamming the same things, and it just get like, I don't know. My attitude towards life has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years. Obviously, like, from having a few health issues and stuff like that, I went through that point where it was like, oh, this is it for me. And like coming out of the back of it, you're like, I'm just thinking like, life's too short to be stressing about what other people think. So like, I have blocked so many people on these groups, and they're people that I've kind of not necessarily known for a long time, but like, I recognize their names from these groups for a long time, but they just bore me to tears repeating the same things over and over and over again, and just being like negative about it. I don't know. I just want to move past that, and if
man, we haven't got time for
I've just kind of I've just removed those people. I've blocked them, so I don't see their posts anymore.
Nice.
And I feel happier for it. I don't see that whinging and negativity. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
It's life is too short to deal with that. So
when it's something you love as well, it's just the last thing you want to see. It's fine. Like, everyone can have an opinion on stuff, but yeah, and it's fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. People feel that way and want to talk about it, but like, it's just same for myself. I'm not in. I'm out of so many groups, and don't. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want to see it. And social media tries to force that negativity on people because
it does,
interactive and whatever.
And I think
it's not good for the brain, man. I don't think it's good.
I think obviously those the posts that either they were putting up or they were responding to, obviously getting a lot of engagement things. So then Facebook's like, oh, you want to see this because other people are talking
check this
about
fight
it.
out.
So check this out, yeah. But obviously, it's not something that I particularly want to see. So I was just like, I'm just gonna block those people, so then I won't see it as much in my timeline. So yeah, it's quite nice now. And literally, it was a handful of people, and I feel like a lot of that negativity just seems to have disappeared. So I feel like it was a very much a small handful of people that were kind of creating a lot of that.
There always is. Always the same in everything, every game, every hobby, every sport, whatever, right? So
because I think you'll get sort of 10% of the people that are really whinging about it. You'll get 10% of the people that are like shills, shall we say, and then you'll get the 80% of people in the middle that just don't care enough either way to engage online about it.
Man. Like, there's things I don't like, but I don't care, and there's things I love, but no one else cares. Do you know what I mean? So whatever, I'll just do my thing and try and be as nice about stuff and as objective when I can be. So it's good. So I think they've been 2 massive releases this year, really. For Games Workshop, like, other games, but Lord of the Rings is a big title for them. Age of Sigmar is. 40K's had some banging stuff as well.
Yeah. So what's come out for 40K?
If we had Dark Angels.
Oh yes,
Angels.
Yeah.
We had all the announced. Was that Lion last year or this year? Lion was last year.
I think Lion was last year.
Dark Angels this year. I can't remember.
Yeah, we've had some Dark Angels. We had I can't remember what they're called.
Inner Circle.
Inner Circle. That's it. Yeah.
Azrael new model. I think that was this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Or certainly
Asmodee, is he?
Yeah, I think he was out as well. So it's been busy for those. Blood Angel, we obviously got all the we had the Death.
Yes, Sanguinary Guard and
Sanguinary Guard. Well, not the Death thing. What they call Death Company box. Primaris ones of those.
Who's big golden dude?
Dante, and we had Sanguinor. I think Dante was last year, but the Sanguinor. So yes, there's been some. We had the new, finally, as an Eldar. Well, I wouldn't say I'm an Eldar player now, but it used to be. We had a load of Eldar stuff shown at the end of the year, didn't we? There, we just had all the rest of the Phoenix Lords. So plus the new Warp Spider Phoenix Lord. So That's pretty cool. I must make it my mission. Maybe that's my thing this year. I used to love Eldar, and I still do. I just don't paint or play anything. I might make it my mission to paint all the Phoenix Lords because
That could be cool.
I love them. They're cool models. I can do them for myself and try not to feel guilty about it. Maybe I should do a video. I don't know. I don't want to ruin it though, right? But like, I don't know. I love those. I love the models. I love the Phoenix Lords. They were the first models I got, Baroth, and they're kind of all nice reinventions of them without totally rechanging them. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. No,
They're
they
really
do
cool
look cool. And there's the guy with the massively long like rifle thing.
Yeah, Fugan with the fire. Yeah, with
that's
this
him.
big lance. Yeah, there's Fugan. We've got Aziman. I forget the Warp Spider guy's name. We've obviously got Janzar. We've got Morgan Ra. Did we see Karandorus? The second Scorpion? Can't remember now. Maybe we didn't. But it's just loads of releases.
We saw
Baroth
out,
as well.
or are they still to come out?
Still to
Right.
come out. Yeah.
We've
Plus all the
them.
factions with them as well. We've seen the new Striking Scorpions. I don't think we saw Karandorus. Maybe we did. I'll have to Google that right now. You've Karandaras. Did we get a new one? I don't think so. No. Oh, maybe we did. No, we didn't. No. So like that would be cool to come, but nearly they're all there. So that's just gonna be an awesome project. But we're also not just outside of Games Workshop. We've had lots of other releases for other things as well, haven't we? Actually, thinking about it, we had Fallout Factions by Medivh.
Yes. Yeah. When was that? Was that March time?
April. Yeah, April, May. I think it was something like that. Yeah. Kit
So
did a video on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of the more competitive sort of side of
it is.
Rather than it being kind of, I think Wasteland Warfare was kind of geared more towards almost like an RPG type thing, wasn't it? It was a bit more kind of create your own story. It wasn't like balanced forces on each side, whereas Factions, well, that's what it was aimed at being, wasn't it? Is a more kind of I guess like a streamlined
rather than 1 million different weapon choices, you have like just normal guys who have weapons and then a couple of heroes and stuff. It's like a Mordheim. To be honest.
Exactly.
A leader, a couple of funky ones, a couple of berserkers, and then just a load of gangers or whatever. But things level up as well. So that's kind of cool. That was an interesting release. What else have we had this year? Anything else you've had that you've liked this year?
I feel like I've been a little bit out of the loop on other games this year. I've been very much kind of focused on Middle Earth. That's pretty much all I ever do.
What a surprise! Trench Crusade came out.
Trench Crusade, yeah.
Did like 3.5 million on that or something. That was
I've not really looked into it. Again, I've been a little bit because that kind of, I think, got announced. Well, not announced, but people were talking about it. But that kind of became big around the same time as the Middle Earth stuff was kind of blowing up a little bit. So we had like the Rise of Angmar and obviously the new edition and things that kind of all came out at roughly the same time. So it feels like I've kind of not ignored it, but I'm aware of it's there. But I've kind of missed it a little bit. So do you know much about it? Have you played it? Have you?
I don't. I'm much the same as you, to be honest, man. Like I meant to sort of take a look at it. I got the trench terrain from Fortress Factory, who's the company who did Trench Crusade. So I got the trenches. I actually did an ad read for them last year. I didn't know the Trench Crusade game as such was coming.
Oh right, okay.
But it's been so I've got all resin printed stuff that looks lovely. But I haven't got. I haven't looked at it. The models have been out for a while. There was a bit of a problem with the STLs. They had to redo them all.
Oh really?
Lots of parts that wouldn't cure, like resin pockets.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Feels like a bit of a swing and a miss after 3-odd million.
To
release
it. But think that if you know what you're doing, that's a fairly easy fix, isn't it?
I don't know much about printing, but it feels relatively fundamental, right?
It's fundamental. But I think if you know what you're doing, I think it's an easy fix. But that shouldn't have got to that point. Do you know what I mean?
Not really. Whoever's creating it should have fixed that. Probably.
Surely somebody would have thought, maybe we should get like some professionals to test print all these before it goes live.
So,
but
it's been big on YouTube and podcast, man. It's been big for a lot of people. I've missed the hype wave. I really probably should have done a video on it, but it was elsewhere. But it's been big, probably the biggest game release I think financially we've had all year.
Yeah,
sure.
it's crazy.
It's probably the biggest war games. I don't know, maybe did BattleTech? No, I think it beat BattleTech. I think it's probably one of the biggest funded Kickstarters for a war game we've ever had.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, obviously you don't potentially know as much. You know more about it probably than I do. What's made it so popular?
I think they really did well with the artwork. I think the artwork has sold it more than even just the models. I mean, the models are cool. I've seen a lot of the models. I know a little bit about it, but I think the artwork looked really good. It's grim dark, right? But actually, it's a bit sinister. It's a bit evil. There's a bit of pushback, I think, from some folks that it was a bit too like dark.
It was like, because I think that was always 40K's thing. It's like, oh, grimdark and things like that. But I think that kind of took it to the next level. I think for Warhammer or Games Workshop had to sort of like try and rein in the grim darkness of 40K to give it that mass appeal, and obviously to be able to work with the likes of Amazon and things like that. You've got to be relatively clean. You can't not everything can be absolutely atrocious all the time, because that I think your microphone's gone.
I nudged it. Sorry, there you go.
All right, there we go.
I saw it go. I think the thing about Trench Crusade is also 40K is maybe a step more detached because it's like 38,000 years away. Trench Crusade, I don't think is that far away. Do you know what I mean? It's a little more earthy,
a little more now.
Yeah. So as I think there's something there as well. It'd be like doing, I don't know, World War II stuff or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like still tangible. So you've also got to be careful. But they've done really well. So I think people have loved the aesthetic. I think they did a good job with the way they've released it. I think they did packs and stuff for models, but also the STLs is hugely popular for people with printers. So it's made it quite accessible and affordable for a lot of people. So they've done a really good job with that. But the artwork, I think, sold that. It was popular before it even was announced. So they did a great job with that, especially as like an unknown entity. So it's a lot of, I think, well-known sculptors and artists. But as a collective, like they're smaller than. Do you know what I mean?
It's still a relatively small group of people. Do you know what I mean? It's
so they've done really well. So that's been a pretty popular thing. Although, like yourself, I missed it a little bit. What else have we even had this year that I can think about? I mean, I was that Kill Team. Always even popular. High Storm is popular, but the starter set was even more popular, slightly more affordable, and it had the limited heroes models.
What's about like 50 quid or something? Like it, I bought those heroes models, the Death Guard ones, ages ago. But then obviously in the UK and US release, they were missing that one that was, I think, was exclusive to Japan, wasn't it?
The Nurgle guy.
So I was always a bit like, if ever I get the opportunity, I might pick that up again. Like I think we were talking about it in a previous episode. Whenever there's like a limited release of, or like a commemorative mini or something like that. Yeah, exactly. We're both proper like sluts for it.
Commemorative slut.
So we kind of tend to jump on those like pretty quick, and it was a little bit like that with those, and they just sat in the box for forever. They're up in my attic actually, because they're one of those I looked at and was like, I'm not going to get to them for a while, so I'll just stick them in the attic for now, like, and so it doesn't stress me out. And then like the new kind of starter set come along, and they've got it in there, and I'm like, I probably paid roughly what that box is going for now, just for the 6 that that are available. But
MDF terrain though. MDF terrain for Games Workshop.
That's crazy. And do you know, I saw it in which I'm going to give a Warhammer shop a shout out here. It was the one in Merry Hill, and I popped in there and I had a look at it, and I was like, do you know what, this terrain's actually pretty nice. And I think as it's definitely there as a kind of cost cutting measure, but actually for somebody who's starting out and things, like, you don't need anything fancy. And the other
thing about terrain, man, it's another element that you have to paint and glue and assemble and bugger about with. So if you want to just start the game, or you just want the factions or just the rules and some MDF terrain, you don't really need like mega, like the Octavius, what's it called?
Octarius.
That terrain's great, but still assembled but unpainted. Right? I've got High Storm unassembled, unpainted. Like, I've got at least I could use that terrain, right?
Yeah.
Just so it's one less thing for people to worry about, one less barrier to entry, keeps the price down or keeps the price the same without putting the price up, maybe more importantly at the moment. That's been a good release. Outside of even miniatures, we've had Magic the Gathering. I don't know if you know much about that, but we had the beginner foundation set, which was aimed basically at new players, and very, very good value set. Had like a cat deck against like a vampire deck. So nice, like popular kind of. So
is that like a set, like
pre-cons, pre-made, like a starter set, right? It has extra bits in it, rules, a little mat, dice, everything you need to start. So if you're like, I don't know how to play, literally teaches you how to play.
The thing that really kind of puts me off like Magic is like, you know, the booster packs, the collecting, and like, you know, the fact that you've got to search out for certain cards to make your deck viable. And like I think I've said it before, like I'm crap at like deck building games. I don't even know where to start. Do you know what I mean? It's
So I like, for you, like I would just buy a pre-constructed deck, a pre-con deck.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So every new release gets 4 pre-cons. So it would be like different colors or different commander. So that's, for most people play commander now. Most people don't play standard casually. There's commander or your draft and sealed. So draft and sealed are where you get given an amount of packs, you open them up, and you build a deck out of what you've got. So that's limited to what you've got. They call it limited magic. And constructed is where you build it yourself. So draft and sealed, you'll get given 3 packs. You'll take one out of the pack and pass it to the next person. You take another, and then you pass them back the other way. So you all get the same amount of cards, but you're getting to pick colors and stuff rather than just, you know, getting a load of random cards.
Okay. That's interesting.
Or sealed is where you get given 6 packs and you just build a deck out of whatever you get out of 6 packs. So that kind of negates like having to draw packs to find cards, because you only play a deck with what you get given. And then then constructed is where you build a deck yourself. So if you were playing like standard, which is like the normal Magic maybe, but I don't think casually is normal Magic, you'd have to build a deck out of any cards made, right? Or the last couple of sets. Commander is you can only have one of any card in 100 cards, and one card you can replay again and again and again. That's your commander. And everything basically wants to link in with that. But you can buy decks that are already made for you. So you go, hey, I love vampires. Find vampire pre-constructed deck, buy that. Don't need to do anything with it. Can play straight out of the box. You can improve decks, of course, and you can build your own decks. And there are websites for that. EDHRC, I think, is one. There's a couple of different decks that'll tell you, like, you might find a legendary commander card. That's cool. I'd like to build a deck around this. Or like I love an angels deck. So I have an angel commander, but you need to buy a load of angels and they're really expensive. So I just happen. But buy a pre-con deck and you can play. So that's what this is. 2 pre-constructed decks that just play against each other. Along with loads of other staple cards. So it's just been a really popular release. Bloomburrow was like little furry pet animals and stuff, squirrels and things. That was pretty popular. So it's been cool. They've had a good lot of releases there. I don't know what else has been new, but they were popular sets. So it's been a kind of a good year all round, really. I've not had much chance personally to play, but it's been good.
The one other Games Workshop release which we didn't kind of talk about was Mechanicum. Like they got a whole load of plastic stuff, didn't they?
The Mechanicum, for Horus Heresy.
Heresy, yeah.
Oh yeah, they got a full plastic box set. I mean, I kind of forget. I love Heresy; it's one of my favorite kinds of one. But every week we just get a new tank or something. I just forget what even we've had loads of stuff. We finally got assault jump marine guys. We got finally 3 years later got plastic melee weapons. How that took 3 years is beyond me.
Yeah, like just drip feed it to you, like.
But why not? Why would they not release like all the models with jump packs and weapons straight away? Like we got all these guns and they're like, oh, don't worry about people with chainsaws now, you don't need them. Like definitely do need them.
People like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, people occasionally like combat weapons. So we've got some command squads as well, like Mark III resizing command squads, Mark VI command squads. We got, was the Legions Imperialis this year? Or was that last year?
No, I think that must have been last year.
It can stay in last year. Yeah,
it can stay in last year. Yeah,
it doesn't need to come out again.
No. Did you play that at all?
No. Sells terribly. Don't play it.
Yeah,
I'd rather just put it all on a bonfire. To be honest.
There's people that like it. I think they absolutely love it, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool. Like when there's like a massive army of all these like tiny things, it looks absolutely amazing. But just small stuff like that just doesn't really appeal to me. Like
I think they really shot themselves by not doing 40k. I know why they didn't. There's difference between specialist games and whatever, but like it's just mini Horus Heresy. It's like Space Marines. It's
just Space Marines. Like and I think obviously they were like, oh, but there is something different. Here's some Mechanicum. It's like. Yeah, but that's it.
Let me guess. I bet Solar Auxilia are coming. There's some Solar Auxilia. Whoa, shocker!
but that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like there is nothing else to come now. I guess really is that there'll be obviously new additional units and stuff. But
we've seen the Dark Mechanicum came out, mini Dark Mechanicum, which makes me think next year we'll get 40k Dark Mechanicum or 30k Dark Mechanicum because that's obvious. So we've got a new faction for Imperialis, which they're pretty cool, like with spidery robot things. But I'd love to see them moving to 30k. And like so far, everything in 30k has become mini, so it makes sense that probably
something. Yeah, but even so, it's still not to put heresy down, but it's still like Marines. Something that we already it's already stuff that we kind of know about and things. Whereas I think if they'd have done 40k you know, I think
even just that Eldar and Orcs and stuff.
Yeah, Eldar Orcs,
Chaos,
Tau, Chaos. I don't think it would have needed quite as many. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, you do. There's probably reasons behind it, and some of it may be just political inside Games Workshop. Some of it might be, financial. That they thought actually we don't need as many products maybe to kind of sustain the game. Whereas, if you say that you're going to do every
40K
force in 40K,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, and every army needs, I don't know, 10 boxes or something, like, or maybe even more, all of a sudden then you've got a lot of SKUs for
a massive release. Yeah.
And
that is a side game essentially.
And then, like, for shops like yourself, then you feel like you've got to hold stock of everything and things. So obviously, there are probably reasons that we don't really know about,
which makes sense. I understand it. I understand.
But yeah,
it's a small game,
but I kind of think it would have been a lot more popular if they'd have made it 40K. Yeah, personally,
probably, yeah.
But we kind of
say not a risk, is it there? So
yeah.
So that lots of good in the year, I think, from a hobby perspective. What about some of the bad from last year? What's been bad from last year? Let's throw a negative in there because people love it.
Yeah, people love the negativity, and then we can call this like 2024 was shit or something like that.
Yeah, shit is 2024. Shit. Glad it's over. Can't wait for this to end.
Games Workshop ruined 2024 or something like that.
That's it. That's the
one. Yeah. Will they do better in 2025?
Games Workshop ruined 2020. Games Workshop ruined 2024. That's the one. That's the
yeah. So I think there's not been anything that I've been like, oh my god, they've kind of ruined it. Like, I think one thing for me, which was a bit of a miss, and we've already talked about it. It's probably some sort of politics. But Rise of Angmar for Middle Earth kind of came out very, very close to the new edition, and basically I think they sold it for about a month, and then it was obsolete essentially because the new edition came out. Now, because I'm a bit of a completionist, I did buy the book, and I like looking at the book. I like reading through profiles. I've got all the other books, so it was kind of nice to kind of complete the collection after this edition from 2018. But yeah, it just felt like a bit of a swing and a miss, really. It would have been nice if it had come out, like, even if it had come out like 4 or 5 months earlier, it would have been nice. And I think people would have been a little bit kind of happier about it. Whereas I think it kind of came out and they were like, well, it's a bit of a waste of a publication. Do you know what I mean? So close to a new edition. But, I think that was for me, the only real kind of big miss. But as I say, there was probably reasons why they couldn't do it. So I'm not kind of going to sit here and go, oh, they're stupid, they're shit. Yeah. It's like, there will be reasons for it.
They're not now a FTSE 100 company now, aren't they? Like,
I believe so, yeah. Which is like
crazy.
Boomed
absolutely on, like massive.
Mental, yeah.
We've had lots of other news, I suppose, outside of the hobby. In good news in relation to, like, we had that TV animation series go out, didn't we? You seen that one yet?
Secret Level. No, do you know what? I keep meaning
Secret
to watch
Lair,
it. Yeah. So, I've not watched it yet.
Secret Level, right? Yes.
Was it good?
Yes, it was pretty good. Yeah, if you like the Starties, you probably like it.
Yeah,
I think so. It was good. Like, the animation style was good. It's not like, I don't know, I'm not like, it's not my favorite thing I've ever seen in the world, but I think it's certainly a good step. We've got. Is
it similar to some of the stuff that's on Warhammer Plus?
Yes. I suppose so. It's like, yeah, it feels just like watching a Starties.
Right. Okay.
Is what it feels like. So I imagine it's the same designer. I haven't looked at the names, but he is in there. The guy who made Starties is credited in that one.
Yeah,
as part of the team. So that's cool. We also did we not get a big update? Henry Cavill. Everyone loves to talk about. We got a big update on that. It's like progress has been made there, I think, which has been stalled for a couple of years. It was always going to take a long time.
It's funny seeing kind of everyone's reaction to. It's like, oh, Henry Cavill, he's a gatekeeper for it. He's not going to let Amazon bully him, and he's not doing it anymore because he's not doing it anymore because they want to ruin it, and it's like. Really? Like, it's probably just that there's no news about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they can't say anything yet because it's all under, everyone's probably under like massive NDAs that they're not allowed to say.
Movies take years from start to finish. Like, I've done movies both from like production and being in them to releases, and it could be years. Like, especially from finding out about them to it being done is years.
And it's an ambitious project as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be absolutely huge. So yeah, and it's going to be on Amazon, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's yeah, they've got the budget, and they probably want to do it right, because it's one of those things. If they I think maybe if they learnt lessons from Rings of Power, maybe they don't want to. They want to
Is
get it
Amazon
right first time, rather than kind of
bugger about?
fumble it and things. And then I think series 2, I think generally people have preferred that to series 1. Hopefully series 3 will see kind of improvements to that as well. But maybe they're kind of following that format. They want to make sure that it lands absolutely bob on first time.
Yeah. Well, Fallout was Amazon as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was incredible.
That was this year.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
that was incredible. I thought that was so good.
And Arcane, that was Netflix, but Arcane was really, really good. The anime.
I've not watched that.
That's brilliant.
One of my friends, we went out the other night. Actually, he mentioned it. He's not like an anime kind of, or like an animation sort of type, a classic animation watcher sort of thing. And
weeb,
he said,
I think,
weeb. Yeah, he's not a weeb, but even he said that it's incredible, and I should watch it. But it's on my list of stuff to watch.
So yeah, I've got a lot of good IP. We did do an episode. If you haven't listened to it, go and listen to an episode talking about IPs, and one of our more popular ones, because we called something like destroying IPs.
IPs are destroying Warhammer.
But go listen to that episode. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, there's lots of good. So that's just, I had to throw in a few more positives. Must find more negatives though. What was negative? Yeah. I suppose if you're a fan of some things,
this is the difficulty with us. Like we kind of like everything, and we don't want to talk about stuff that we don't like.
Well, I also don't dislike anything enough to really care.
Exactly. The one thing that has riled up a lot of people is the Femme Stodies.
Oh yeah, female custodies. They've always been in the law. I mean, I don't know if that's. I've never read about it.
It was a bit of a lazy thing, because they clearly haven't been, but they just said, "Oh well, we never said that they weren't in there, did we?"
Not like Space Marines.
It's like you haven't seen it under every single helmet, have you? Do you know what I mean? There is definitely golden boobies out there somewhere. Yeah.
So I mean, we've seen it. We've seen a precedent with Age of Sigmar. Right?
Yeah.
There's both men and women, or male, female, models, and no one cares. Literally nobody cares. I like both of them. It's more sculpts, different. They have like slightly different armor. The ladies have like a singular chest piece, but the other ones have like pecs, and there's like different heads you can get. I got some resin heads for my Stormcasts, all different resin heads and stuff.
Are they from Games Workshop, or are they?
Yeah. No, yeah, they were.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So they were really cool. So I really like all that. So no one's really cared about that. And like there's Unastra and like Neve Blacktown and all these other characters.
Yeah.
So it's just fine, because it's always
been there. They've been like the heroes as well. They're
all the heroes. Like, Unastra's like the big like wild hunt, like mad Sigmar's right hand woman. Do you know what I mean? They've been cool, so nobody cares. And I don't really care. Like I think Games Workshop need to branch out into new markets, and there's a lot more women playing stuff now and painting, and Kira does. Kira doesn't, I won't speak for her, but doesn't really care. You know what I mean? Like it's great. Like I don't care enough about that to be a problem. Like I do think there was a bit. They were just like, oh yeah. So we're doing that now because it's always been in the law. We just didn't mention it ever. Oh yeah. Okay.
I felt that.
Is it 40 years anniversary just went, or something 40 year anniversary went, 50 anniversary of Warhammer? So like, never have I read in any single book, oh yeah, and she did this, like, or they did this. Just no. So like, write it in, fine, or just say, oh yeah, it wasn't, but we've decided to do that. I don't think people care, but people do care. But I don't. They could have done it better. The same with Primaris, to be honest. Like, Call turned up. I've been working on these millions of guys for like the last 10,000 years. I forgot to mention it.
By the way, these guys are bigger and cool. Yeah. Like got bigger armor. They basically I think they'll sell better. I mean, fight better than the guys you got at the moment.
like, can we just call them Space Marines, but just like get rid of all the old ones? Just cut the tie and just have new, better looking Space Marines. I don't know why we have to do this thing. And it's like, the Primaris turned up, and then it's like, I didn't want to go be Primaris, and now he is. Ragnar's Primaris. I never liked the writing on it. So
do you think that they did
fine in a few years?
They did a better job of it with the Sigmar dudes? Because they kind of like they changed the armor for them, didn't they, to make them not like the little.
I much prefer it. Yeah, they were like sort of fat armor dudes, and now they're like quite like lean and lithe, they're more human shaped rather than this big sort of like weird old knights. They're more like you could see them fighting. I've been reading a lot of the books, so it's taken 4 editions. I love the new lore for Age of Sigmar. I've read since the 3rd edition. I started to quite like it. I was a big fantasy fan, and that got axed, and I was like, oh, it's Age of Sigmar shit. And it was like, oh, you know, man with the big beard or whatever wins. Like there were actual rules in the 1st edition, wasn't it? Who shouts loudest, who has the biggest mustache and stuff. And it's like, okay, I feel like they just released it as a joke. I was like, this will piss people off. And then, but 3rd edition, they started to get it right. And now the new edition, the lore is a lot better. It's taken, I mean, it's 12 years or 2016.
It's a long time. It's been 2012, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it's been 14, 15, 16 years since it was gone or whatever, or maybe less. 2012, I think you're right. It's taken that long for like it to develop on its own. So it takes that long to change things and for people to like it. Now I love it. They mention all old shit, old characters. The old worlds come back, although different. And it's like it's all, but it mentions old things where it didn't originally for me. So I quite like that. So maybe that'll take a while for the Custodians. And I feel less hatred towards Primaris than I did. I like them now, but I didn't like them when they came out. You know, so maybe we'll get that in Custodians in 15 years. People will be like, oh yeah, they've always been around.
You know? I think it probably will. It'll just be like this acceptance that it's there.
When we become grognards and die out, basically, all the new ones will be like, yeah, it's normal.
Exactly. It's always been a thing. Like, you know,
we'll end up with Lady Space Marines. Do you know what I mean? And that'll we have Lady Guard, we have Lady whatever, everything else. So
exactly. It just feels
tip of the hat, my lady. So they'll all be gone, and we won't worry about it in 20 years' time anyway when we're dead.
So I think that was kind of big news from 2024, wasn't it? And I think I don't want to be like a white knight here because people will just go like, you're just being a white knight, and it's like, do you know what? Like representation, like I don't know whether people care that much, but actually, do you know what? It absolutely does no harm. It doesn't really change the story as such for me. And if there's like a few more people out there that kind of see themselves represented in it, do you know what? That's great. I see no issue in it.
I feel the same way you do, probably about Lord of the Rings as well. You said about the groups, like 80% don't really care, 10% are passionate one way, 10% passionate the other. It's probably just the same. Literally, I think like what difference does it make to me? Like to my life? Yeah, nothing really. It doesn't ruin the game. Fine, it's just the way of the world. We're
get new custodies.
We're different to the 80s. Like times moved on from the 90s. We're everything's changed. So and I think its appeal has broadened. You've got to think about stuff like that these days. As companies and businesses as well. So I guess it's ruffled feathers. Another one that was bad, I suppose, was killing off all the Lord of the Rings armies. We spoke about that, and killing off X-Wing and Armada annoyed people a little bit. They disappeared, although none of those personally affected me because I didn't know any of the Lord of the Rings characters anyway.
I think we did a whole episode on Lord of the Rings, which you can go back and kind of listen to. My view on that hasn't really changed. I think some of them were quite niche armies, and they were all metal and things, and and most of them realistically they weren't in the film, so it's not as though people are going, oh, my favorite character from the film's been axed. It's like no, actually it was this. It was a random. Mahud, what they call the Farharad, guys, which they don't even really kind of feature in the books or anything either. There's like a mention, there's like a couple of lines about them. So why should they be so heavily represented in the films? Do you know what I mean? Or sorry, not in the films, in the game sort of thing. So I wasn't overly upset about that. I know a lot of people were, and again. But they were niche armies. It didn't affect every player. Do you know what I mean? It's Can
I just say we suck at the bad of 2025.
We do, yeah.
We really suck about that. Something that just occurred to me was we had Model of the Year of 2024 was announced. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
So I thought it was kind of a pretty weak field for results comparison to previous ones. We had like Be'lakor one before, and we had like Lion and Dante and the Avatar.
The lady sat on top of the big bug.
Yeah, we've had lots of cool stuff. But this year, I have to say, it wasn't the best year for
and didn't Night Lords win?
Year. No, so Miniature of the Year was won by the Night Lords Nemesis Claw Kill Team box.
But I think...
I mean,
I can't help to think that was like almost like not like a protest vote, but it was like this is what we want to see more of type. So
they were really popular. They've been really popular on release.
Yeah,
all those models. They are awesome. But Miniature of the Year going to like a big squad seems weird. Second place was the Provisionally Prepared, the little halflings. Nice little
quite fun.
Third was the Inner Circle Knight Companions. Fourth was what I thought should have won, was Celestian Sacrosanct Aveline, you know, the lady with the big sword, flaming sword, really cool. Fifth, which I think is kind of a terrible model, is Asmodai, Master of Repentance. So not great. Then Miniature of the Year, I don't really get the difference between, they must have had different categories they did this year. Yeah. So next category, Usheran, the big flesh eater dude, like giant big ghoul king with all the hairy stuff. Cool model.
They were cool.
Weird model.
I kind of liked that stuff. I must admit, it was the which one are we talking about now? Usher and the Summer King.
Yeah, the flesh eater. Yeah, the Mortarch of Delusion. Yeah, the big
I
dude,
quite like him.
I like him as a model. I just don't think I'd ever want to paint it.
No, there's a lot of.
I'd rather not paint that. I'd rather paint the Nemesis Claw. Then we had the big Skaven, Visik Scour, when the next one was, again, a big cool model. Not one I want to paint, but certainly a cool model. And Abraxia, the Chaos dude on the big thing. That's a cool model. So those are nice. And then Miniature of the Year was the Leech Priest on Necrolith Bone Dragon. Was Old World just released this year?
I don't even, like, this is how I touch on. I don't even remember that coming out.
It came out in the Tomb King box. Old World was been out a year already, right? It came out in 20. Old World release year. Surely that was 2023.
I would have thought it was.
I don't think it was this year, was it? Here we go. Well, announced first. No, it was Old World this year. It wasn't.
That's
no,
crazy.
Yeah, 2023. No, it bloody was. Launch boxes here. December. New special rules. Necklace Bone Dragon has been revealed on the 23rd. It was 2024.
Oh my god!
December 23rd. Community website. Law of the Britannia. Yeah.
I don't even remember that coming out. Like I don't. I
feel
feel like
was this year.
I can't feel like I've never even seen that model. But
I don't believe that was this year.
No.
It was. Must have been. Oh, that's crazy. I love Old World. I don't believe that was this year. That's mad. There you go.
That feels like it was a lot longer ago, really.
It really does, man. It feels a long time ago. Oh, well, that came out then. So there you go. Was out. That was out. So that one, sorry, I was just shocked. Then Lady Elise, the Bretonian lady on a unicorn, cool model.
Yep.
Thousand Sons Librarian and Alpha Legions console.
So they seem like, because there's been like a lot of consoles and like stuff this year, isn't there? They don't. They just look like Space Marines to me. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing particularly special about them, really.
Dudes. But like, so there's not been mega. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, like, we had Be'lakor, like I say, we had the Avatar and all these other cool models. Don't think any of these are like, you know,
quite in the same league as those. Really,
no, I don't think so.
Was Angron last year? That was the year before.
Yeah, Angron was last year, maybe. Yeah, Angron was model 2023.
Yes,
second. Yeah, and first was Johnson. So we had Lion and Angron. And we had Farsight. They were number 1, 2, and 3 of 2023. They're all cool models. We had the Norn Emissary, we had the Harbinger of Decay, the Nurgle dude on a horse.
Yes,
Dante was then Vashtor, the Death Leaper, like loads of good models in 2023. 2024 doesn't feel like the same.
It just feels as if it's been a little bit flat. To me, it does anyway. Like, you know, I don't feel like we've had any.
2022 was the Avatar, man. That was awesome.
That was like your favorite year. So should we kind of move on to our resolution? Have you got any hobby resolutions this year? Is there anything that you want to try and achieve? Or
I normally avoid resolutions because I feel like it pressures me to do something and I get a bit sad when I don't do them. But this year, my friend,
this is your year.
This is my year. I've got to make some life adjustments this year, right? From last year. Last year was kind of just grind and stick to it and grow and try my best to keep things alive.
I mean, last year, obviously, your child arrived, and I think the first kind of 6 months of having a baby is just tough, like so tough, and you know, I kind of don't envy you whatsoever, having gone.
Yeah, like Kira's also like the main person at the shop, right? So I lost her from the shop, and then also. So it's been a bit of
a kind of a tough year for you. So I'm not surprised really that kind of everything fell off a cliff for you, really.
Yeah, so I just had to keep alive last year. It was all it was, just float and stay relevant-ish and try and do a few videos. And I had a couple of good releases on YouTube that did well. Some that didn't do as well. Some I wanted to do that didn't. Some I should have done that I didn't. Do you know what I mean? And some I did do.
I think you're always going to have that, aren't you?
Yeah. So this year, I want to try and be a little more consistent with YouTube. What I want to do is 2 videos a month, right? Which I don't think is unrealistic. It might end up 3 in one and 1 in another, but on average, doesn't sound like very many. But I'd like to do like 24 videos this year because I only did that many last year. More, but minimum that.
Yeah.
Wait, is that right? Is that 24?
Yeah, 24. Yeah, two.
Yeah.
24.
How many months are there in a year?
Quick math.
Baby brain. So I'd like to do that. What I really like to do on a personal level is have one army painted, or faction, or squad, whatever, for each game I really want to play. So I feel I should have a 40k army of some sort, an Age of Sigmar army, an Old World army, a Skyrim couple of squads, and Shatterpoint and Marvel.
Nice.
And a Horus Heresy. Something like that.
Horus Heresy.
So it's like 8 factions or whatever there, right? Eight factions or groups. Now, Star Wars is only 8 models. Skyrim's like 6 models. So I can do those. I've got the Fallout box already done. The other ones are a little bit different. But I've got a lot of armies I have that are already halfway done. You know, I've got Imperial Knights. They're all airbrushed and everything and trimmed done. They just need doing. So I'd like to finish them. Do you know what I mean? Skate, like Stormcast.
Get them finished and
finish armies. One army for each game. So I can sort of say, hey, do you want to play a game? Yeah, I can do it. And I'd like to attend some more events. I've actually applied and just got accepted into the Irish Blood Bowl team again this year. So I think I'll be going to Hungary in August or September, October or something to play the Euro Bowl and Nations in England in June or July. There's two. There's the Open Bowl and the Main Bowl. I'm not sure which team I'll be in yet. I'm aiming for the main one. I kind of did all right a couple of years ago. So I feel like, I can compete at that kind of level. I just haven't played much. So I want to get to some events. I want to try and see some friends and have some fun and paint some models. That's kind of my big year. And I need to clear away early right now, this month. I want to go through the ridiculous shame pile and just keep, sell, give away, or bin. And it goes in that order.
You've said that for the last 3 years though, that you're going to do it.
This is the year. Because it's not only that, it just weighs on my mind every day. I'm like, oh my God, like all this stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's really hard to focus on anything.
I feel like one day you'll just go into the shop and, you'll have somebody that's helping you there in the shop sort of thing. And you'll go in like, oh, where are they? Like, you'll just hear like a, help, coming from the back. And you walk in and there's been like, they're just like half trapped under like it's hard to
90s metal.
An avalanche of like just models and they're like pinned in place.
It's very possible.
It's like it's
bad.
Your pile does disgust me.
Mate, it's a room. It's a warehouse of shame. So I need to get rid of it because I need to just pick through a few bits and I need to be like hard and be like, okay, am I ever going to do Disciples of Tzeentch? Really?
Yeah.
Like really? If I want to do them, I'll just buy them later on in life. Now is not the time to have a Disciples of Tzeentch faction. I've got so many half armies and armies I don't really care, but that I've just acquired. Some that I want to do that I haven't got. So I need to do that. I need to just have the big clear out, I think. So do keep your eye on the old Facebook Marketplace because there's going to be some models hitting there, I think. And it's going to go that order. It's like paint, keep, sell, some giveaways, and just bin. Yeah. I don't mean just bin like full stuff, but just, do you know what I mean? Just, things that's like a bit of a sprue that I've kept for some shit. Just I don't want it.
I'm so guilty of doing that. Like, there's the extra bits left on this. It's like, I'm never going to use them. Like, I don't convert enough. I don't, yeah.
He's never going to do it. He's never going to do it, man. Just get rid of them. Clear the brain. So that's what I want to do. Exactly. That's my hobby resolution. So what about you, my friend? What's your goal?
So my aim for this year is I am going to do some sort of hobby for at least 15 minutes every day. So whether that is building something, painting something, priming something, whatever it is, but it's kind of inching me forward towards getting stuff done. I think, this last year, I've beaten myself up a little bit about YouTube and things. And I think, again, we keep saying it, we'll do a YouTube episode.
I think we should.
I really kind of beat myself up about not making videos about stuff when I feel like if I'm painting something, I should be making a video about it. It's trying to just get the joy out of just doing a bit of hobby for myself again. And I think it's kind of got to the point where I'm not painting stuff that I want to be painting because I feel like I should be doing it on camera. And then I feel like I don't really want to do it on camera. So yeah, I'm just getting stuff painted. So 15 minutes a day. I'm a big believer that everybody, regardless when you say I've got no time, I think everybody can find 15 minutes a day. For me, that'll probably be before I go to bed. Just whip out the paints for a couple of minutes. And I'm trying to find ways of getting rid of the barriers that stop me from doing that. So one of the things, obviously, is coming out into the garage. At the moment, it is absolutely frigging freezing here in the UK. It's like, I think it's been like minus. We'll probably get somebody in the comments from some really cold state, and it's like they say, "Oh, -4. That's not even that cold." But in the UK, -4 is pretty cold. It's been kind of -4 the last couple of nights. So it's been really, really cold. So it's not been nice coming out to the garage to do some hobby. No. So I'm going to set up like a little indoor like hobby area sort of thing, have like a little tray that I can just pull out and just do some hobby of like 15 minutes before I go to bed. If I wake up before the rest of the family and go down and make a cup of tea or something, I can hobby for 15 minutes in the morning. Do you know what I mean? It's just finding that little bit of time for myself.
Chip away.
And I also and the goal, I guess, of it is I want to get another couple of playable armies for Middle Earth in particular. Mm-hmm. And I'm also, which is not necessarily part of the resolution as such, but in order for me to get there, I'm kind of cutting corners and cutting out some of the things that I don't really want to do. So obviously, I discussed earlier, I'm going to get some stuff commission painted because I don't really want to paint a load of chaff. I don't really want to paint 40 odd goblins or 40 odd orcs. I prefer just to get somebody else to paint those for me, and then I can just paint the really cool stuff that is left, the heroes, the elite units, the Balrog and stuff, and the Watcher in the Water, rather than worrying about trying to paint 40 goblins, because I just find it so mind-numbing and soul-destroying. And I think it'll just make me find my hobby and painting mojo again, which I feel like I've lost a little bit. It's been a tough couple of years, like one way or another. For I've had a kid and a few kind of health concerns, which don't really bother me as such anymore. But it's kind of always there, kind of weighing on your mind a little bit. But it's yeah, I just want to kind of find that love for it again. And I think even you said earlier, like the last couple of days, I've been like doing a little bit here and there, and inevitably I'll always do more than 15 minutes. I'm not going to just do 15 minutes. It ends up being like half an hour or an hour or something. And yeah, I've just achieved quite a lot in 2 days. Like even before we started recording this, whilst I was waiting for you just to do, I've done my 15 minutes, and that was just assembling and repairing a model. So I've got my little Moran and Orc Shaman. Like I don't think he even has rules anymore. I don't know if that'll. Yeah, there you go. I'm just showing it to the camera now. But yeah, when I was building him, the spear shaft snapped because they're the really crap fine cast resin. So yeah, I just repaired it with a little bit of brass rod, and that was my 15 minutes, and it's just, I feel like I've accomplished something. Whereas if normally I'd just be like, no, I'm just not going to do anything. So
yeah, I think that's it. I think we've got to find a bit of joy again.
Yeah,
and I think it's probably not just us. It's been a tough couple of years on everybody. Just do a little bit deep heart to hearty here. It's probably been quite a tough few years on a lot of people, right? A lot of listeners out there, a lot of people, just in general. It's been not been easy, right? Globally, for various reasons.
The economy has
been we've had sort of backlashes of COVID, and we've had whatever is relevant to your area too, right? Like whether it's political stuff or whatever. I think it's been quite tough on most of us. So I think I struggled last year and maybe the year before with kind of like keeping happy. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I felt very much like not myself a lot. So I really want to try and push. I'm aware of that, and I recognize those symptoms in myself. And whether that's just becoming a bit more like we tend to do it with lockdown.
Yeah, we do.
Don't we? If we don't talk, we're like, hey, I've not heard from you for a week. Like, where have you gone? And you just seclude yourself and you become a little recluse. So like, I feel like I've been mentally like that, or very negative about stuff. So from an outside of just the hobby perspective for the new year, I'm trying to and want to, and will work on trying to like twist my view on life a little bit, try and take away the sort of like the negativity or the feeling of self-worth and stuff.
I'm not laughing at you, but I know exactly what you mean. But it's like, how things been. It's fucking awful, shit. Isn't it?
Everyday shit. Like, YouTube shit, everything's shit. And it's like, I want to try and get back to the roots of like enjoying life again. I've had a lot of changes as a view the last couple of years. Normally, historically, I'm an actor and a musician, and singer and go do weddings 50 times a year and work on, bars. I'm a very social individual, but that feel has been sort of slightly squeezed out of me these last couple of years. I'm a bit isolated out here, I think. So I did do something this year. I guess a bit of a highlight was I've done it for the last couple of years, but I did a charity stream for Calm, which is campaigning against living miserably. They are UK based. I think they're global though. But I did a stream. Historically, I've done the 40 hours of 40k over at Imps Gaming to raise money as well. And that's been quite good because I was sat there chatting to Peachy, Mikey from Hellstorm, and Kirioth as well. And we were all chatting about stuff, and a lot of us feel the same way. We're all struggling a little bit, and just so like, even if you're out there listening now, like that's something I'm trying to do. I feel like maybe just find a bit of joy again where you can in various things, and try and flip the outlook on life. So that's why I want to try and go to a few events this year, because I always feel like talking to people is good and enjoying myself in places, doing something I love. And it's not YouTube related. I know most people don't have that issue, but it's not YouTube based. It's not screen based. It's social, which is what Warhammer's meant to be, right?
Yeah, and there is no kind of pressure to do it as such, but it's it's why you do it in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the hobby, right? So like I really enjoyed doing the Blood Bowl a couple of years ago. So why not do that? And we've got a Lord of the Rings double over in March, haven't we?
Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah,
where's
beginning
that
of March. That's in Bristol. I think it's Defence of North Bristol, I think it's called.
If people are listening and are there, then we'll probably see you there with
come and say hi.
Whatever shit list I force you to take, because I don't want to help you guys.
So we've got that coming up in March. So yeah, we haven't really decided on lists. I was sending a few lists across because you're not kind of particularly au fait with list building and things like that. And to be honest, like because it's a new edition, I've got no idea what's kind of good anymore compared to other things. And I think that's the beauty of a new edition. Like there isn't like an established meta. So we could pretty much take anything and, we might be god awful, but it might be decent. We just won't know until we get there. So it's going to be really exciting. So we've had a few lists going backwards and forwards. Any of the ones that I sent you that have kind of grabbed your imagination?
Yeah, so I quite liked, you sent one, I don't know what I mean, you sent all ones that I like, right? So if if I was to play Lord of the Rings, it's it's Theoden, it's some sort of elves, it's Gandalf, it's a Treebeard, like I like the big good heroes, Theoden being my main man. So any of those kinds of lists, but you sent Gandalf and Éomer.
Riders of Aeon.
I like whatever it is. It has to be fluffy. It has to be from one of the bits from the game. So it has to be Defending Helm Deep, has to be Last Alliance, has to be Gandalf coming over the bit, or it has to be sending Faramir off and Denethor's eating tomatoes and Faramir's riding away. I like, you sent me a list there. It's Denethor, Faramir, and Boromir. I'd want to get rid of Boromir and just do Faramir
and just have Faramir and a load of riders, basically.
And Denethor and a load of like whatever. He can fight because you has to, but like basically that's it. I want Denethor with a load of like Royal Guard doing shit, and I just want Faramir and a load of people. I just want to ride off every game into the faces of everything and die.
But he's got cool rules. Actually, he has to do that. Like if Denethor's on the table and you've got Faramir, and if he's mounted, he has to charge. So it makes him a bit.
Can we just play that?
He's a bit of a loose cannon, really. And sometimes you think, oh fuck, like you've got to like plan ahead
not
that you are going to have to charge. Like, you are going to have to charge. So, so it kind of does make it a little bit more kind of complicated to play. But we could do that. We could just go kind of full theory. The thing is, I just don't know how well it would do without having Boromir in there to kind of back him up a little bit. But we can make it work. We could.
Yeah, I can't have Boromir there because it doesn't work that way for me. Faramir it has to be Denethor. I want you eating tomatoes, and I want Faramir. That's one
in a long grey wig. And
Gandalf is basically half the army, so that would be kind of fun. Trees are just trees. Last Alliance again is kind of fun. We've already got the guess. Do you know what this might well come down to? What we have painted and what we have time to paint, because I already have Last Alliance done.
So we've got we have Last Alliance. We'd have I've got a load of elves painted as well. So if we needed to if we went just kind of full elves, we could do that. Battle of Fornos, which was the one that I kind of sent across first. Which all I think you'd need to paint is Glorfindel.
He's a cool model as well. I don't know.
I knew you kind of liked that. Did you buy him? I can't remember if you did.
I've got him. I've got Elrond and Glorfindel. They're both equally cool models. So
that was quite cool. I think you'd need to paint him, and I've got loads of Minas Tirith painted anyways, and all I need to paint is I'm going to kick myself because I can't remember what his name is now. But the other guy that's in the list, the Gondorian dude. So so I think that could be quite an easy one for us to do.
And more importantly, I just think it'd be a fun event.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, definitely,
to get out and got an excuse to see you because we've all got stuff going on.
Doubles is my favorite way of playing the game. Like I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I love going to events, but there's just something about doubles that just makes it even more fun. Like, if you lose, like, you lose together. If you win together. And it's kind of all that kind of prep going into it beforehand and things as well is fun as well. I feel it is anyway.
Do you know, events, man, are the only way to make me finish an army as well. I should probably just play an event for every game I want to play, and I will have something fun.
Exactly. So and I think it would be good to, obviously, if we took something that we've neither of us have painted, but I'm just kind of conscious now that we're kind of beginning in January and it's in March, so it's only a couple of months we've got left to paint. And although I'm, don't get me wrong, I'm hobbying every day at the moment, but finding that 15 minutes, if it is only 15 minutes a day that I'm going to get some days, then I might not be able to finish a brand new army. So I'd prefer to get something that I know I'm going to be able to either I know that I'm going to be able to finish, or something that I know I've got kind of there ready to go if we don't kind of get it painted.
I literally only have elves painted right now, so I can paint other stuff, and I don't mind. Minas Tirith is probably easy to paint, easier than Rohan probably to paint.
But I'd say I've got Minas Tirith pretty much. I could. The only thing that I've probably not got quite enough of is Rangers. I might do, actually. I'd have to have a quick count, but I've got another sprue of Rangers anyway, so I could probably get enough.
It's literally 8 weeks away.
It's not long really. So we probably need to decide. But if you guys have got any suggestions or ideas of what we could take, I would be I'd gladly hear some suggestions.
Bros ride and die together. I want the suboptimal list. You want
suboptimal list. I don't want something reasonable. I know some of the people that are playing, and I know that they're not going there for a fun time. they're going there to win.
We have played one or two maybe before.
But I think it'll be a good event anyway. Doubles is always fun. I think doubles is almost like less serious,
stressful, less pressure,
less stressful. And it'd be nice to win a couple of games. Don't get me wrong, but
we did last time. We won a few games.
What do we win? Was it three and three? We went 3 and 3. We went for last time, I think. So we did all right. If we could do that again, I'd be over the moon. We could take something, but I've not got Gandalf painted. I've not got Aemma painted, the new Aemma. I've got the old one, but it would be nice to have like an excuse to paint some, another cool hero.
I'd love to paint Gandalf, man. I've got the model. Do you know what I mean? I have it.
Right. We could do that then. We just need to make sure I've got enough riders. But we can definitely have a look at that.
I was Gandalf play, not me like pushing out a dump. Do you know what? I think maybe maybe we should probably leave it there. Do you know what I mean?
We've peaked. Other than events, is there anything that you're looking forward to in 2025? Like, is there anything that's coming out? Oh, the Phoenix Lords.
Phoenix Lords would be cool. I don't know, but there's.
You've got the new Krieg box set coming out. Do you like?
I like them. Not for me, but
no?
I do. But I don't think I'd do it.
No,
I think I'd probably just rather do Cadians, to be honest. Standard classic guard. But I won't, because the idea of me if I do guard, I'm gonna have to do like 120 of them because that's the only way I want to play. So,
and there's no joy in that. Really,
there's no joy in that. That's one I would get commission painted. Do you know what I mean? Can you do 120 guard, because I don't want to do it, but I'd love to do it. But if I want to play that, I have to do it myself too, which is always the pressure of commission painting.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So that'd be pretty cool. High Elves, hopefully next year from Old World.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
My boys, they'll be out.
Yeah.
What else?
We've got the new Fulgrim.
Yeah, I like new Fulgrim. I like both Fulgrims. 30k Fulgrim was awesome from last year, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like both Fulgrims. Again, not my faction. Maybe, pray tell, I hear rumor of a new heresy. It'll be 3 years, right? If it's on the new rotation. We don't know anything.
3 years?
It'll be 3 years.
Was it 2022? Yeah, it will be, won't it? Jesus
3 years in April, May, June, whatever it was when it came out. So I don't know if that is sticking to the 3-year thing. Lord of the Rings only did 2, but again, different reasons.
That was
But so I don't know. It's the first of those specialist games to have hit the 3-year mark. That isn't like Kill Team, Warcry, 40k, Age of Sigmar, whatever, right? So I don't know. So it might do it. We haven't had enough of Imperialis or other things yet. Necromunda, I think, did a 3-year cycle. I feel like
I lost
between
track
Hive
of
Secundus
Necromunda.
and the first one that came out, Ash Waste and all those ones. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe we get a new heresy.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Exciting.
That'd
So,
be very exciting. That's your jam, isn't it? So
I like that. That and Old World, man. I don't play or paint either of them, but I like them. So that's
yeah.
good.
You got a couple of heresy armies, though, haven't you?
I do have a few. I do have 2 painted. Yeah, Alpha
Yeah.
Legion and Word Bearers. The only 2 armies I have painted are my 2 least favorite factions.
I was going to say you hate them as well.
I hate both of them. Of course, that's what I've got.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, shall we? I think we've discussed. Well, there's not an awful lot to discuss about next year. We've got obviously, events coming up and things like that, and obviously you've got Blood Bowl and all sorts. So it sounds like you'll have a few events, won't you? Really?
Hopefully, if I can sneak away. Also, actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm recording with the band. Music is something I love. So if you haven't, go and check out Token of My Affection, a classic mid-2000s band. We did a re-recording of all our hits from 2006. And stuff like that.
I like them.
I like them.
There's a couple of them that are in my Spotify playlist.
They go up every now and then. Yeah, Token of My Affection on Spotify. 3 of the 4 songs we have are up on Spotify now. There's 1 more to come with another music video, and then I've got 3 more and an acoustic track we're recording in a couple of weeks over at Chapel Studios in the UK. So that'll be my first getaway in a while. So do go and check that out. And I know that Aston, our singer, listens to these as well. So there you go, Aston.
Does he?
I gave us a plug. Yeah, he says he has no idea. He does a lot of driving because he does a lot of events and singing and stuff. So he just drives for 4 hours and 5 hours and stuff up to Scotland and back or whatever. So I know
he's really bored.
Really bored, shitless. Yeah, he said, any podcast? I said, yeah. He says he has no idea about most of what we talk about, but enjoys it anyway. So there you go. But yeah, so we're doing that with the band. So go and check that out as well because it's always interesting to see. I have to say, I think it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. It is pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So we're doing that. So hopefully a bit more music next year, a couple of events. Maybe try and see you before we turn 50, 60.
Yeah, So yeah, I think you were thinking about coming over in a couple of weeks, but that might be a little bit of a tight turnaround with the recording and stuff. Yeah, but
March is a definite. So we've got
March booked in with that one. So yeah, it'll be good. I might try and come over there at some stage as well. Maybe if I can sneak away for a weekend.
I'm sure you can. You've got plenty of time this year, I'm sure. So you can sneak away.
Definitely.
Sneak away whenever you like. Oh, don't I know. So we can manage that. So yeah, I think it'd be good. Hopefully, a new positive mindset. If any of you guys out there are listening, what are your resolutions, your New Year's challenges, the things you want to do? Do let us know in the comments below as well. We didn't pull up any comments on the last video in this video, which we normally do a little segment on because we didn't do a video. So we'll start that again. Season 2. Now.
Season 2, yeah.
Also, if you're enjoying these, do follow, like, share, subscribe, hit all bells, whatever, and do check out the Patreon. A nice way to support us, keep us going as we flow on through into the 20s, through the teens. We're teenagers now as a channel. So flow on through to the 20s, and you can also sort of help guide the discussions. You can ask us specific questions, and we will do our best to answer them in each next episode. Do you know what I mean? We'll let you know what the episode's about as well. So lots of nice benefits. Plus, you get to support your 2 favorite podcasters, myself and whoever else you listen to. And Benji's here anyway. So yeah, make sure to do that. And I think I'll let Benji do the closing remarks because he's got a better voice for radio.
Oh God, I feel pressure with this every week when we do it. Thank you so much for watching. I think you've said pretty much everything. Should we just say goodbye to everybody?
Sure. We're doing the way we were meant to do it. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Ollie.
And I've been Ben.
And we've been
SideQuest
Podcast.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
That's always terrible.
Always.